I'm Mark the Wizard Weir. What I'm trying to do is I've got a recruits program starting on the 30th of April, about 11:30. So if everyone gets there interested in joining, get there about 11:15. What I'm going to do is try and give an update of what it takes to be recruits. The recruits program is a way it started off. I was trying to find a way of giving back of all the years I've been competing. I've been competing since 1984, before most of these people listening were born. Went to world class level in 1988. Started my MMA career in probably 1996, if I remember rightly. I've been doing MMA before that for door security and teaching a lot of the guys around locally around Gloucester. Started fighting, competing wise in the MMA in '96. Took me a couple of years to get it going. I seen a show, UFC, the first UFC, and I tried to target a few magazines and put a challenge out for anybody to fight MMA, minimum rules fighting. So all the years, I've met a lot of high world class fighters. I thought, how can I give back to the guys? You know, years down the line, my experience, all this can go to waste. I remember trying to rub shoulders with world class guys, trying to learn off them from a young age. And as I went on, I found that my advancement was faster due to the fact I was trained with these guys. I was learning from a very early age. So by the time I was mid 20s to 30s, I probably learned more than some people had learned in about 20 years. So I was thinking, how can I mimic that? And what I came up with the Recruits program. Recruits program is a program where it's for MMA based, but also with this program, people go on to doing grappling competitions, BJJ, can actually do K1, kickboxing, Thai boxing. They can branch off because what people can remember, MMA is not specifically means that you're a kickboxer, a grappler, or whatever. Everybody has their strengths. It's to actually a table or platform to be able to show that you're more well-rounded. Each person has more of a strength in one way or the other. So the main thing is to hide your weaknesses while revealing your strengths and showing it, or finding a way to reveal the person's weakness so you can pull out their demise, the way of beating them. So again, this program, when it came about, I was trying to find a way I can pass everything on. So I've come up with a thing with 2 years. Within about 6 months, this is quite hard training, 3 times a week minimum. At first, some people go in and doing 5 times a week, even 6 times a week. So you've got to have a day off, I believe. But what they're doing, you've got things that are getting away. Work is one, college, depending on your age. Also your social life, especially if you're around about the 17 to 21, 22. A lot of people socially going out, drinking, getting drunk, feel like they're missing out. The other thing as well is obviously you've got family and relationships. The family and relationships. I'd say relationships is probably the one which can cause a person to veer off. A relationship is demanding. Everybody likes to see a sacrifice, whether you're male or female. 9 times out of 10, if you're committed to something, you're driven. You can see what you can get out of this, but the other person can't. So the way they see is like you prefer your sport or what you're going towards more than them. So again, I can find that as a big flaw in people when they're training. When you want to commit to this, is maybe it's just something in your life you want to be able to say, I've done well at this, and then you might veer off into your own career or something else you focused on. But I really want to look for guys or ladies what want to take this to a real good level. It can only be like maybe 6 to 10 years. And you might find in there it's not really for you, but in that time you can find immense amount of success, lead on to bigger things, even financial wise. Might be just something you want, career wise. I believe it's the greatest thing I ever did. I was a skilled engineer at a very young age as well, very committed in that, but at the same time I knew that I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something where I can go train hard, come back home and commit to that again in the afternoon. I was training 2 to 3 times a day, and every time I had spare time, I would train. While having that, I did have a social life, but I made sure my priorities was my future, what I want to do with my life. Now, moving on from that is like going back to the 2 years. It's 2 years, minimum of 3 times a week. This is a challenge. Don't overdo it, and obviously make sure you got the support of everybody around you, because they're the ones who can distract you. Within about a year, I always try and recommend everybody to compete, because that's another part of your training. And it doesn't mean you have to compete in MMA. Obviously, you could compete in, which I do recommend sometimes, is either K1 if that's your strength, or BJJ, or both. You get some well-rounded people who compete in both. That way, they've got competitive air growing in them, getting used to their nerves, and then also they find is like when they actually go into the MMA, they already know what their strength is, they know what it's like, what it is to cope with nerves. For this one, what I'm going to talk about mainly for the first thing, biggest thing I find is timekeeping. So I don't look very highly on people who doesn't respect time. Time is, again, I will say on my deathbed, the only thing I'll ask for is a bit more time to spend with my kids, my family, everything else. So when you waste someone's time, you're disrespecting them. That's the biggest thing. Timekeeping is very important. When you're traveling, I don't want to think or worry about you turning up late, especially if I'm taking you somewhere like abroad or around Europe or anything else. The other thing is when you turn up late for training, besides you're not warming up properly, which could cause injuries and accidents on yourself as well as other people. Because again, you might be frustrated and you might end up throwing things wildly because you don't feel like you warmed up and you're finding it hard. Also, it is nice to be relied on. People who turn up on time, I can rely on them. I know, again, sometimes we have the guys after a couple of years, they end up helping coaching. And I might say, oh, can you open up for me? Or can you take the class here? And they're very reliable. They're very good to, I know they're going to turn up on time, and they're very, I can use them for coaching and also in a corner. Besides that, it's very considerate of you. Okay, you've got no consideration if you don't think about anybody else but yourself. So timekeeping is a bit of an inconsiderate attitude you've got. And the biggest thing and most of all is respect. If I know I respect everybody, whether I'm older than them, whether I'm younger, I've always respected everybody. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. So the utmost thing is with timekeeping is respect. When some people are late, they come in and they don't apologize, don't say nothing. Straight away, they go right down. That person is the same way. They're disrespecting me, I would disrespect them. And I try and give them advice because they don't go very far in life. Again, with timekeeping is not their priority. But remember, when someone's waiting for you, you are wasting their time. That's a part of their life, which again, they can never get back. Remember, when you work, they're paying for your time. Okay, everything is about time. Money is paid for your time. So timekeeping is very important. I'm leaving on this segment. Okay, say tomorrow I'll approach again, tell you the next thing for us to become a recruits champion or get through the year, become a recruits winner. The winner goes away with me, travels abroad. We've had 2 lots traveling to America, train with a legendary trainer, John Ackerman, along with his team. I've done this for years in early 2000. Luckily, I was training with a renowned, one of the best light heavyweight champions, Chuck Liddell, which was amazing. And I'm showing them the sort of things we used to go through. John Ackerman is kindly puts us through the paces, gives us his tips. We've got day in, day out. And also we got, like last time, we had Court McGee, not this time, but the time before. So he's training up for UFC fight. So to get to see what it's like to see what a world champion trains like to get to that level. And you can see whether it's within their means or within their ability to get there. This experience is priceless. Again, it's like when I was coming up, I wish some of this was around. I know I would have got further, faster, and I know I would have done better than what I did. So this is what I'm trying to do. This recruits program is for those who want to take it to as far as they can take it. If you think you've got something in you to be a champion, something in you to maybe be the next UFC champion or contender, this is a fast track. It's created for the public, for the next person who thinks they're going to go far and they haven't got people around helping them, and they want to know, how can I make it from A to B, okay, and without, how can I tell what it takes? You might want to make it, but you might not know what it takes to get there. My job is to show you. I've been there. I did it all on my own originally. I had to make the connections. The connection's already there for you now. So all I'm doing is just fast tracking you, showing you how it takes, the attitude, the motivation, the determination, everything it takes. And with my help, with my crew, and my coaches, I got some real people's been there with me from the beginning. Chris Hughes, Leon Roberts, who's referee, UFC referee, and he referees nationally. He always telling me all the changes, all the guys that he's seen fighting, new thing everybody's trying, the attitude. He's a very important part, along with other guys. He's been with me for like many years. Okay, so next one, tomorrow. Okay, keep an eye on this for those who want to be the next recruit. Thank you.